Hello, everyone. Today, we're diving into some of the most horrific natural disasters ever captured on camera. Moments so intense that just watching them, you'll feel the terrifying power of nature. Get ready for footage that you won't be able to look away from. Man walking on the sidewalk. There is hardly anything we can do if we get swept up in it. It seems like the tree branch accidentally hit the electric pole. Not exactly the ideal place to be during an earthquake. Hold on. Lightning struck next to where people were working. The breach caused rapid flooding in the city and nearby towns. This kind of event often happens so suddenly. Local authorities declared a state of emergency, imposing restrictions on drinking water. Avalanches are one of the biggest dangers climbers face. In this shocking footage captured by tourists in Pakistan, you can see what it's like to face a massive wall of snow.
Are you okay?
Thankfully, everything turned out fine this time. But it's a clear reminder that an avalanche moving at 30 meters per second leaves no chance of survival. An explosion under the sea. It was a digital moment in the greatest life. The goal is to get the job done right, so you don't have to come back later to finish up. The rushing water suddenly came. A terrible force of nature destroyed a village. The building was unable to stand after a storm. The roof of the building was blown away by the wind. Land, there were 16 houses. Fortunately, no one was hurt. The cause of this dramatic event was an underwater whirlpool.
Selfie. So. अरे भगदड़ मत करो.
The footage shows how a small landslide leads to a false-scale dam failure, with the embankment collapsing entirely and spilling waste into the adjacent pit.
Yeah, I was. What the? Woohoo!
Fire creates a beautiful scene. Look at that plum of smoke.
Cool.
They carefully identify the main support structures of the building and determine the optimal locations to place the charges. Handling explosives requires permits, extensive planning, stand and watch the destruction of nature.
Big explosion! Big explosion! Oh my God! Where's that vortices?
Severe traffic jam due to large wildfire in Florida.
我就看一下那个数字正不正，他有点斜，我就让让开来啊！我操！
In 2023, this driver in China was almost hit by these falling rocks. A terrible hurricane swept in from Greenland, turning the European coastline into a massive water park. Buildings weren't so lucky. A stone barn which stood for about 300 years was completely destroyed. Even ancient mountains like the Alps can be terrifyingly unpredictable.
Like, I'm driving into it right now.
It really is.
One very large storm rise. While they were in the process of placing explosives around Marlborough House, the building suddenly collapsed on its... A huge explosion took place right behind the building. A huge flood flow swept away everything in its path.
Until the end, the good stuff comes last.
In early 2024, nature seems to have begun to act. You know, God, it will just go devastor minas and destroys others. But Wakando Nagarabi creases. And is that a human swept everything away? Back in 2019, this giant landslide happened in China. Roads in mountainous areas during rainy season lead to landslides. Famous water keep out. For a century, this scenic spot has brought joys of both residents and visitors. Lightning bolt suddenly striking your car in the Chinese evening. Bo, a driver experiences terrifying moment or drop. The flood swept away a bridge. Video records a landslide right under a house. It seems that the prolonged heavy rain has caused the house's foundation to be affected. Soil and rocks sliding down the house becomes unstable and can fall into the abyss at any time. The landslide happened right next to the national highway. Fortunately, no one was injured.
When the storm comes, anything can happen.
Here's another video of a rock slide that occurred in China in 2023.
飞跑呀！
This is something you often see in the movies, but it can happen in real life too. The storm's so powerful it knocked that Ferris wheel over in an instant. Recent disasters have brought a halt to this once illustrious history in 2019. This startling incident took place in the mountainous Sichuan province of China.
Sometimes
a huge
reaching several
landslide,
meters
sometimes
per
reaching
second.
several meters per second. A sudden big explosion caused everyone to panic. A volcanic eruption can create columns of fire. The hurricane's raw power reminding us of nature's unstoppable force. It's amazing how lightning strikes one point repeatedly.
Oh my God!
Unfortunately, two other boulders managed to break free and destroy the other side of the house. Water can definitely be called the most stubborn element if it wants to go through something new, no matter what. It's a beloved spot for tourism and fishing. The lake, which spans nearly 2 square kilometers, was severely impacted when a 30-meter rupture appeared in the dam spillway, causing water to flood in and wash away the soil around it. Here's what could happen if you build a house in flood-prone area. Sweeping away the house, very lucky the people in the house have moved to safety.